Good morning, Kasturians. Now, today we are here to discuss chapter number 4, which is motion in a plane. These are the contents of this chapter, the sequence in which we are going to discuss this chapter. But particularly today in this video, what we are going to discuss is we are here to discuss only two topics, which are scalars and vectors. So, let us start with our first topic, which is scalars. So first of all, let us understand what are scalars. Scalars are the quantities which have only magnitude and do not have any direction. For example, mass, length and time. These quantities only have some magnitude. They indicate some magnitude. For example, if we say that mass of some amount of substance is 2 kg. So this mass, or we can say this 2 kg is indicating how much amount of substance is contained in that volume. Okay, but it is not telling us that about anything about the direction of the mass. Okay, and also same way if we talk about some length, so if we say if we say that this is 2 meter or 3 meter, so we only say that this we only talk about the magnitude of the length. And the same way with the time also, if we say the time is 2 seconds, we have taken time 2 seconds from moving one point to another. Okay, so we are talking only about the time, that is only about the magnitude of time. No, it is not, these quantities do not give us any information about the direction. Okay, so that is why we call these quantities as scalars. Now, what are vectors? Vectors are the quantities which are having both, that is magnitude and direction. For example, velocity. When we talk about velocity, we talk about motion of any object in a particular direction. Okay, and the same way when we talk about acceleration, both these quantities for these magnitude and direction, they are well defined when we talk about acceleration of an object. And how do we represent a vector? You can see here, this vector is represented as it is having a head and a tail, and you can see this straight line, it is this, we call this line as tail of the vector. What does this tail of the vector represent? It represents the magnitude of the vector. And what does the head of this vector represents? Head of the vector represents the direction along which the object is in motion. Okay, so that was all about scalars and vectors. Now let us move to understand how to represent a vector, how to define vectors, all the things in deep about vector we have to understand in this chapter. So let us begin with what is modulus of a vector. See, when we are talking about magnitude of any vector, so we can say that it is modulus of a vector. How do we define modulus of a vector? It is defined as magnitude of any vector. And how do we represent this? This modulus of a vector, it is represented by you can say this is how we represent vector A, that is A, and on the upper side of wave A, we are representing this small vector that is having some magnitude and direction. But when we are talking modulus of a vector, how do we represent this? This vector A, it is enclosed in the modulus. You can see the two straight lines, these are known as modulus. Or we can simply write it as A. If somewhere simple A is written, then the person who has means the person is trying to make us understand that this is written in context to magnitude of a vector. Okay, that at that point he is talking about magnitude of the vector. Now let us try to understand what is a unit vector. Okay, how do we define a unit vector? A unit vector of any given vector, it is defined as, how do we define it? It is defined as the unit magnitude, or you can say the vector which is having some unit magnitude and is having some direction. And which direction this vector is having? It is having same direction as that of a given vector. Okay, the vector which is provided to us initially. Okay, this unit vector is having the direction of the original vector. Okay, now how we can write this vector in the mathematical form? This unit vector, it is represented by A cap. You can see this is represented by A cap. And now how we can write it in mathematical form? We can write is vector A, that is this vector A divided by modulus of this vector, or we can say vector A divided by magnitude of the vector. Okay, as you can see, along the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. How we can write the unit vectors of these axes? They are also representing some direction only. X-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. They are used to represent. You already know what x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis represent to us. Okay. So now here, what we have to study that. As they are representing some magnitude also and direction also, so there must be a unit vector associated with each of these axes. So we can say the unit vector which is associated with x-axis is I cap. Okay, and the unit vector which is associated with y-axis is defined as j cap, and similarly with the z-axis we can say it is k cap. Okay, now what we can say about the unit and dimensions of this vector? That is unit vector. This unit vector is actually a unitless vector. Okay, it is having no units. Why it is having no unit? As you can see from the mathematical expression that this vector it is represented as vector A divided by magnitude of vector A. So we can see this vector A on the upper side we are having the direction also, and means upper side we are having vector, that means magnitude and direction also, and in the denominator what we are having only the magnitude. So if we talk about magnitude and direction, we can say that direction of both sides, that is upper side and denominator, that is lower side, both the sides are having same dimensions. So dimension of upper side gets cancelled to the lower side, and what we get, the direction of unit vector we get no dimensions. So we can say no unit, that means we can say it is unitless. And if it is unitless, so we can say that it is dimensionless vector. Okay, so hence this vector it only represents us some direction. Okay, so now let us move forward to a question. See, we are given this question, and what is the demand of the question? See, we have to find the unit vector of a given vector. The given vector to us is 4i cap minus 3j cap plus k cap, and we already know what is I cap, j cap, and k cap, the unit vectors along x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis respectively. Okay, so what we are given, how we can write this vector A? We can write this vector A as ax cap, ax I cap plus ay j cap and plus az k cap. What is ax, ay, and az? They are magnitudes of the means magnitudes associated with x, y, and z axis respectively. Okay, so magnitude associated with x axis is ax. Okay, and the unit vector associated with x axis is I cap. Okay, and so on for y and z axis. Okay, now how we can find the magnitude of this vector, that is modulus of this vector? We can simply find the modulus of any vector as ax square plus ay square from here, and plus az square and whole under root. Okay, so we can find the value of ax, ay, az from this expression that is given to us. So ax is 4, ay is minus 3, and az is 1, as you can see. So putting all the values in this equation, what do we get? We get the value of magnitude of vector A, which is under root 26. So now we can easily find the value of unit vector, that is vector A divided by A. Vector A we are already having, that is 4i cap minus 3j cap plus k cap. And what is the magnitude of this vector? We have found the magnitude of vector, it comes out to be under root 26. So we can write the unit vector. Okay, this is how we write the unit vector, as you can see. Now let us move to the next thing, that is equal and negative vectors. How do we define equal and negative vectors? First of all, see what are equal vectors? The vectors which are having equal magnitude. See, magnitude of these vectors are equal and also having same directions. Direction of these vectors is also same. Okay, as you can see from here, this is vector A, and this is vector A, and this is vector B. And direction, see, this head is representing direction of the two vectors, as we have already discussed. So what we can say about these two vectors, the direction of vector A is same as direction of vector B. So, and also as we are saying magnitude of vector A and B are same. So what does on this vector A and B, how we can find which part of this vector represents us the magnitude? Magnitude is represented by this tail part. Okay, so this will be same. Why? Because magnitude is equal of both the vectors. Okay, so we can represent two equal vectors as this. Now how we can represent the two negative vectors? What does negative vector means? See, if we are given one vector, as you can see, this vector A is given to us, okay, and if we are given the another vector, means that the another vector which is having same magnitude as of this vector, but the direction of this vector is different, as this is the head of this point, this vector is pointing in the forward direction, and the direction of this vector that we are given the another vector, the head of this vector is pointing in the direction which is opposite to the vector which we are given already. So we can say that we can represent it. See, magnitude of both these vectors is same, so what we can say that, see, this is having this vector can be represented by vector A, and as the magnitude is same but direction is opposite, so we can represent this one vector by putting a negative sign in front of this vector. Why? Because the direction is opposite to that opposite to the given vector, okay. So this is how we represent negative vectors, the vectors which are having same magnitude but the direction of both the vectors is opposite to each other, okay. Now let us move to the further part, which is co-initial vectors and collinear vectors. First, let us discuss what are co-initial vectors. See, the vectors which are starting from the same point, okay, means the, you can say the initial point of if initial point of two vectors is same, like here it is O, so we call these two vectors as co-initial points, okay. Why? Because they are starting from the same point. Now these A and B vectors are co-initial. Why? Because they are starting from the same point, that is O. What are collinear vectors? Collinear vectors, these vectors are defined as the vectors which are which may be equal or may be unequal, okay, but the direction in which they are acting, you can say they are acting in the same parallel lines, okay. Same parallel lines can be like this also, making angle 0 degree with each other. As you can say, vector A and B, they are making an angle of 0 degree with each other, okay. And see, the magnitude of A and B is also unequal, okay. And as you can see from the another example, which see, this is represented, this example is only represented by, it can be represented as like this also. Why? Because making 0 angle, so you can say that these are parallel, two parallel vectors. But you can also represent collinear vectors as this. See, direction is opposite, although they are parallel to each other, but their direction is opposite to each other, okay. So this is how you can represent collinear vectors. Now let us move forward. Now let us discuss something about position and displacement vectors. See, as you can see from this figure, see, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is origin. Any object has started from this point O and now he has arrived to point A, okay, and another point or another object has started from this point O and he has reached at point B. So A or B के coordinates we can see as x and y, and what will be the, let us assume the coordinates of point B as x dash and y dash, okay. Now which one of these is, how we can find the position vector and displacement vector from this graph? See, the position vector you already know. What does position vector indicates us? Position of the point. अब पार्टिकल यहाँ से O पॉइंट से A पॉइंट तक गया है, तो उसके पोजीशन हम कैसे निकाल सकते हैं? How we can find the position of this vector? Simple, that is x into A, xa. So how we can write this vector? How we can write this vector? This is position vector. How we can write it? X I cap. Why? Because x he has moved in the direction of I cap, okay. X distance he has moved in the direction of x axis, so we can write it with magnitude and the direction, that is unit vector. It can be written as x I cap plus y j cap. And similarly we can write the position vector of OB, as you can see, that is x dash I cap plus y dash j cap, okay. Now we want to find how much is the, you can say how much is the distance between point A and point B. Means दो object जो हैं at point A one object is lying, at point B also one object is lying. Now we want to find out कि वो दोनों कितने distance पे है, okay. So the distance or the separation between these two vectors, that is A and B, or we can say the two objects, that is A and B, their separation is known as displacement vector, okay. So how we can find the displacement vector? We can simply find the displacement vector as we can subtract the x dash axis from x axis from x dash axis and y axis from y dash axis, and we will be having the vectors, that is unit vectors, as it is. Okay, so this is how we can find the displacement and the position of the two vectors. Now if we multiply any you can say any scalar or any real number with any vector, what happens? For example, let us consider n. It is a real number. If we multiply this number with a vector, what do we get? We get n into a, and n into a means n is a scalar thing. So what happens? Its magnitude gets increased by number of times जितना हम उसके साथ कोई भी नंबर को मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी आर मल्टीप्लाइंग अ रियल नंबर. Okay, so for example, as you can see from here, the magnitude earlier was 1a, but now we have multiplied a real number, that is 2 here. So what happens? The magnitude of this vector gets increased by 2 times. Earlier it was only 1 times of vector a, now it is 2 times of vector a, and as you can see the vector now it has increased twice of its length. That means the magnitude has increased twice of what it was originally. Okay, and the same way you can see here also. Here we are having see, negative number is multiplied to the vector. What will happen? The magnitude will increase, but it will increase in the opposite direction. Okay, as you can see earlier we had vector a, its magnitude was positive, but now we have multiplied it with -2. Okay, so what will happen? The magnitude will again increase by double. It will again increase by double amount, means it will become twice or it will become double of what the vector was present initially, that was a, but due to this negative sign it will be increasing in the opposite direction. Okay, so now let us discuss what is resultant. See, if we are having two vectors that you can see from the figure, PQ and QS. Okay, PQ is having distance, or we can say PQ is having some length of 4 meter and QS is having the length of 2 meter. Now we want to find the resultant of two vectors. How we can find the resultant of these two vectors? See, first of all, we can see this vector, we can see that resultant will be represented in the direction, means they are joining head is joining tail of the another vector. So we can say that the resultant will be P and S, means tail of this vector will be joining tail of the resultant and head of the resultant will be joined by the head of the preceding vector. Okay, so this is how we represent the resultant, and this is some angle between the two vectors, means resultant and PQ vector is having some angle, that is we can write theta. Okay, so now how we can write the resultant of these two vectors? We can simply write it as PQ square plus QS square. Okay, as we can see from various laws in mathematics also, we can see this, and more we will be discussing about this thing, but till now you need to understand that resultant, it can be represented as resultant, this length of this line, or we can say resultant, magnitude of resultant can be represented as PQ square plus QS square. Okay, and putting the values of P and Q, P, Q and QS as already given, we can find the value of resultant, that is 5. Okay, we will be discussing about this in more details in the coming more lectures or coming more discussions. Now that was all for today, for this video or for this class. Okay, so thank you. Next we will be discussing in the coming discussions. Okay, thank you.